I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me because my computer is not working that well. My internet has been horrible all day. So I think that I'm coming through clear though. Yes?
Yeah, you're good. You are good, good, good.
So I'm really excited to be here talking to you guys tonight. Thank you so much for having me. Maggie and I spoke the other day and I'm like, what am I going to talk about? And she's like, just tell your story and talk about kind of, you know, how Beachbody has been for you since you started. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about myself and how I got started, and then how my journey has been with the business. So I've been coaching for, it was 5 years in April. I started in 5 years? Yeah, 2015, April of 2015. And I had just given birth to my son, so he was 6 months old when I started coaching. But prior to that, growing up, I was always somebody who struggled severely with anxiety, like from a young age, being like 5, 6, 7, 12. I would lay in bed at night, have racing thoughts of worrying about dying and disease and death, and just really irrational thinking for a child. And then when I became a teenager, I got involved with sports and fitness, and it kind of went away. And then in my 20s, I got away from that active lifestyle and started like indulging and drinking and doing other things I probably shouldn't have. And my anxiety just went like out of control, to the point where like there were times I couldn't leave my house. And if I had to leave my house, I had to make sure that there was like a hospital within a certain radius of wherever it was I was going. So it was really bad. I was medicated for 10 years on and off. I can remember having to like lock myself in the bathroom numerous times. If people were even coming over to visit, like if I was living with a boyfriend at the time, I would have to lock myself in the bathroom and I would just scream to him to tell whoever was there they just had to leave. I wasn't able to drive to and from work. Like my anxiety was out of control, crazy. So long story short, I was medicated and self-medicating throughout my mid-20s and late 20s. And then all of a sudden I was just like, you know what, I'm sick of feeling like this. So I started running and getting involved in fitness again, and was able to come off of my medication, and was making some lifestyle changes that way, getting involved in fitness. Fast forward to, I got married, had my son, and at when he was 6 months old, I was introduced to Beachbody. And it's funny because when you like think about working the business and how you were introduced to it, it's really funny how it all works out. So I remember exactly what I was doing, laying in the bathtub, scrolling Facebook, having my little, 15-minute break. And I had seen that there was a man in my town. He was actually a dentist in the town that I lived in, and I am also a dental assistant. And he was hosting free fit clubs in the town. So at this point, my son was like almost 8 weeks old when I started seeing these posts. So I had reached out to him and I'm like, what's with the free fit clubs? How do they work? And so he told me about them. I started going as soon as I got the okay from the doctor that I could start exercising again. I started going to his fit clubs. And he would just, I don't know, you guys may or may not know what a fit club is, but when we started it, you could do free fit clubs and just like project the 21-day fix DVDs up on a wall, and everybody would meet 1 to 2 times a week and you would work out that way. So we would do that, and then I would come home and I would like memorize the moves and write it down, because there was no way in hell that I was ever going to pay for a fitness program. I wouldn't pay for a gym membership. I was a runner. I would do push-ups. I'm not paying for it. I thought it was silly. So I would memorize them, write it down, and I would do the workouts at home on the off days. So was going really well. Finally, I saw that he had posted something about doing a free clean eating group. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll try it again, free. So I jumped on board with that, got the grocery list, went to the grocery store, got everything. I think that first week I lost maybe like 6 or 8 pounds by just doing like the clean eating group. It was crazy. So as soon as that happened, I was hooked. I'm like, oh my God, this is incredible. Whatever it is you're doing, I need to know more. And so that's when he told me about like the challenge pack and, you know, like the challenge groups or whatever. So I was on maternity leave. In Canada, when you're on maternity leave, it's like a really reduced portion of your income. So we lived like overdraft to overdraft. We had no savings. I had a tax-free savings account that I had about $230 in, and it was like I was so proud of it. It was like my little nest egg. And so we had no money. My husband was working full time, but again, it was like overdraft to overdraft. So I had reached out to my coach. I was like, what do I have to do? How much is it? And he told me the price. And I was like, well, I want a coach too. Because like I said, I've always been involved in fitness. It truly was a passion of mine. So I'm like, I want to do it all. So it happened to be that there was a sneak peek happening like the next day or something. So they plugged me into it. We watched the sneak peek. Long story short, I convinced my husband, you know, let me do it. I feel like I can really make this. You know, when you just get the butterflies in your stomach, like you know that this is like your thing. So that was the feeling I had. And so I was super pumped, and I'm like, just give me 6 months. Let me spend this money. Give me 6 months. If I don't make my money back, I'll quit. So hilarious when you think about it, because it's like a $220 challenge pack. So needless to say, I jumped all in, did the training, did everything. I was super coachable, and earned my money back within like 3 weeks. Diamond within 4 months or 3.5 months. Really started like getting in the groove with the business, treated it like a business right from the get-go. And so as my maternity leave was running out, I was saying to Maggie, as you start to do personal development, you read these books that say things like, if you don't ask, the answer will always be no. So I'm like, I do not want to go back to my full-time job. So I was like, I want to ask Ed, this dentist, this Beachbody coach guy, if maybe he'll give me a job at his office part-time so that I can focus on my business. And so I asked him, and he said yes. And it was the craziest thing ever, because it's like, what? Okay. So I started working. I quit my full-time job. Prior to this, I was working 5 days a week as a dental assistant and waitressing on the weekends, just to try to like have enough money to have somewhat of a life, right? Still living paycheck to paycheck. So quit my full-time job, started working for him part-time, and I dedicated every Thursday. I would put my son in daycare, treated it like a regular work week. And I would take him to daycare on Thursday, and I would sit down and I would work my business from like 8 o'clock in the morning until my husband would come home at 5:30 with the baby every single Thursday. So things were going really, really well. I was starting to see some great growth in my business. Like I said, I went diamond really quick, but I stayed there for about a year. Going into the end of 2016, I was really building a team. I was team leader. I was ranked 22 in all of Canada. I was on my way to like really building a successful business, and things were going great. And then all of a sudden I found out that my husband was having an affair. So my whole entire world and life crashed down around me. I hope to God that this never happens to anybody, because it's the worst experience. I don't wish it on my worst enemy. Found out that it had been going on for probably at least like 6 to 8 months before I found out about it. So I had to take some time off work, obviously. Luckily, I had a team built, and my team was so good to me and so understanding that I was able to pull back and take some time from that I was still making really good paychecks to get me by. But the momentum of my business was slowly starting to slow down, and there was nothing I could do. I had no choice. Like, I needed to regroup and like figure my life out. But I still hit Success Club every month. I still pushed really hard, like, and did the bare minimum. Because I knew then, now I was going to need this business, right? Like, now more than ever, I was going to need this business. So I ended up moving out and getting an apartment for my son and I. and being able to pay the damage deposit, furnish it, buy a new couch. This was like a big deal, but buy a new couch and pay cash for it. I left without having any worries. I needed nothing from him. I took, what I needed to furnish an apartment and, like I said, bought a few new things, a bed for my son, and I moved on. But it took probably, I would say, like a good 2.5, 3 years, probably closer to 3 years before I started healing. And I still struggle today with it, but I'm in a much better place. But I really, really, really dove into personal development more so than ever, and I'm so thankful for Beachbody for so many reasons. But one is for the income that it provided me, so that I was able to move out and leave. But again, for introducing me to personal development, so that I was able to like supply myself with the right tools to heal myself. So I just kind of sort of worked the business, like I said, bare minimum, hit Success Club. I ended up still rank advancing to 1-star after all of this, like the next year after I moved out in April. So that December, I rank advanced to 1-star, which qualified me to go to NLC. That's where Maggie and I met in California. So I was able to go there and it was awesome, but I still was just kind of like trying to keep my head above water, just barely. So when I came back, my whole business crumbled. I lost my diamond. I went from 1-star right down to like probably coach rank at one point, but then kind of just hovered at emerald for, I don't know, the last year and a half. So I just, the last year and a half, like I always said, like, I'll never quit because this business has like given me so much. And even though I was just, doing the bare minimum, it was still I still have to treat this like a real job because I only work part-time, right? Like I can't not show up. I have to show up. So I just was doing it enough just to get me by, so that I was getting a paycheck to help cover the bills. And then something just clicked in January of this year, to be honest. I was laying in bed and I was just scrolling through Instagram, and I happened to come across Maggie's Instagram stories, and I was just laying in bed with my now boyfriend. And I just said, oh my God, like, I think she had posted like her income progression or something. And I was like, oh my God, we rank advanced together. We went to leadership together. Like, had I like kept going, not that I'm not blaming, I had to heal. There was nothing I could do. I had to take it at that pace, but like, this is where I could be. So then I just started kind of watching what she was doing, and she was getting me excited again. And so I just decided this was something that I needed to do, was start writing my goals down again. So I got a piece of paper to pen out, and I just wrote January 2020, and I started writing down what it was I wanted in my life. And the very first thing that I needed to do was to start changing the people that I was associating myself with. And so what had been going on was I had a team of girls, and a couple of them are local. So on my Thursdays when I was working my business, this one girl in particular would want to come and hang out and do like our business activity trackers and power hours together, which was cool. But I felt like, she's sweet. She's so sweet. But I felt like she was kind of bringing me down, if that makes sense. So I didn't have anybody that I was like, I don't really have an upline. My boss, the dentist I worked for, doesn't work the business. He never really did. He just kind of like got me into it and then supported me. So I don't really have an upline. So I just decided I needed to start surrounding myself with people who were doing better than me. So instead of spending all my time with people who like weren't not below me in the sense of like I'm better than them, but business wise, like I was the one that got the most Success Club points on our team. I was the one that did the most invites every single month. I was the one that signed up the most coaches. Like I needed somebody that was doing better than me so that I could level up, because I was actually starting to level down, and it was affecting me in every area of my life. So I was writing my goals down, and that was the first thing I wrote down. Start surrounding myself and watching and mimicking people who are seeing success in the business. And then I reached out to Kirsten, another friend of mine, and I was like, I need some help. Like, what's your plan? And she's like, girl, this is when we thought we were going to Punta Cana. She's like, we have Punta Cana coming up. Let's really push for some goals together. Let's start, running a challenge group together. So we got together in February and ran a challenge group together. And prior to that, I just said, like, what is it that I need to change in my business so that I can start seeing better results? So it was surrounding myself with people who were above me, also getting results for my clients, because the old me would just sign somebody up and plug them into a challenge group that would just have the announcement when you log in, and it's like, check here, and it's like, here's the video of do this, do this, do this, do this, and if you need me, I'll be over here, let me know. And that's how I was running my challenge groups, and I was never getting results for people. So I had to rethink that and say to myself, okay, I need to get results for people, because it's the results that's going to build my business. So I started running groups on the My Challenge Tracker app. Right when I was getting used to it, they switched it over. And so I made that change, and I really started working closely with my clients and checking in with them 2 to 3 times a week. And every Monday, getting them to send me progress pictures and getting them to send me pictures of them standing on the scale, because I never did that before. So somebody could say I lost 4 pounds, and I'd be like, awesome. I don't know if they lost 4 pounds. So I was trying to hold them accountable to their goal. And I started to get freaking really incredible results for people. And then I started sharing that on my stories. And then I went from getting Success Club, maybe Success Club 5, maybe Success Club 10, to every month since January, I've hit Success Club 30 or 40. So I started really getting results and really sharing that and talking consistently. I started working the business activity tracker 5 times a week. Isn't it funny how they say to do that and then you do it and it works? So I started doing that, and my team and I have actually started doing that together on a more consistent basis now that we have the time to do that. So with the COVID being here as well, I never once used it as an excuse, not once. There wasn't one time that I was like, oh, the virus is here. I don't know if it's just me, but I think I'm the only person in the world who is depressed that the world is opening back up. I love living in my little tiny bubble and working my business, and I have the best routine going right now. So the thought of going back to work it's actually depressing me. So I took major advantage, and especially with the gyms closing. Well, you guys know, Beachbody says it all the time, the business has been booming. And I have had so many people say that they don't want to go back. My boyfriend is a huge gym guy. And now that he's working out from home, he's like, I don't even want to go back to the gym. I love the convenience and just getting up and getting it done. So I really took advantage of marketing that in a nice way, not in a shaming of the gym way, but just letting people know that this was available. And I was showing up every single day on my stories and every single day on my social media, advertising my health bets, showing results, adding value. And it's just been working for me, knock on wood. Yeah, so I really got into an awesome routine and stay consistent. I'm getting up at 6 in the morning every morning. My team and I get up, we work out together on virtual, in our little virtual gym. And then most of the time we just grab a coffee and we sit down and we do our business activity trackers together. And the girls like that because some of them need the community and need that extra push. And I feel like I struggle with getting my, building leaders. I never really was good at duplicating things and getting people to do what I was doing. And I think now with the tracker and us actually doing it and me just there kind of for an extra confidence for them, it's been helping. So we've been doing that. What else? I've got some notes, just make sure I'm covering everything. Yeah, so just getting the results, posting about it daily, recognizing people, Again, it's all stuff in the tracker. I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning every single day. So when I do go back to, okay, so this is the thing. So like my paychecks are pretty good now, so I don't have to go back to work. And I don't want to go back to work. And I keep saying, my boyfriend's like, oh, like whatever you want, I'll support you. But because I reached out to my boss, 5 years ago and was like, you should create a position for me so that I can focus on my business. And he did. And they're really, really good to me that I almost feel this loyalty to them. So I'm at this point where I know right now, if I didn't go back, that I would be able to work my business that much more. So I don't know if I'm going back or not, I guess is where I'm going. I don't have to go back, but we'll see what happens. I just feel like I owe them a bit of a loyalty card there. So I think the best advice that I can give you guys is if you're looking to run with your business is consistency, working your trackers, showing up for treating it like it's a real job. Like if you're gonna oh my God, I can't even believe I'm gonna say this because you're gonna treat it like a hobby, it's gonna pay you like a hobby, but it's true. And I know you hear it all the time, but if you the best thing I could have done for myself way back when was quit my full-time job to take a part-time job because it forced me to show up. And COVID happening, as unfortunate, I feel horrible for everybody that was impacted by that. Truly, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. But for me personally, like it's been the best thing for my business because it's taught me to show up for myself. It's taught me to get in a really consistent routine, even when I don't have to. And it's proven to me that I can do it, that I have it in me to be that leader and that business owner. And I feel like I'm really working my business like a true business owner now. And I think that's it. Let me just check. I can talk a lot, can't I?
You are so cute. Okay, so Kelly, mic drop moment when you said, I decided to surround myself with people that were doing better than me, like that were above me. Like that is huge. It's so true. You need to surround yourself with people that are going to lift you up and bring you success. And yeah, that was amazing. And I love that you said, you're like, am I the only one that's depressed about going, like everything not being on lockdown, everything's opening up now after COVID?
I know. I just really love life like this. I like that people don't have the gym to go to, and I like being home.
I know. I actually agree with you. I was like, this is going to be weird. And, but you're right. Like you said, during this COVID time, and yes, you're right. Like a lot of people were impacted. My heart breaks for them too. But every single person that's on this call have been affected in a positive way with their business because of it. I feel like I leveled up as a leader. I honestly didn't know how to lead a team during a crisis like this. So, and a lot of like coaches came out of nowhere, just like, oh my gosh, I'm hitting diamond next week. Just so, yeah, I mean, there were so many positivities that come out of COVID. I had some questions for you.
So I guess one thing that I didn't say is that so my business literally crumbled to the ground. And then the thought of a rebuild, and I don't know what ranks you have on your team, but I worked really hard to get where I was, to be ranked 22 in Canada and a team leader and 1-star diamond. I worked, that's hard freaking work. And I'm not going to pretend it's not. That is hard work. And so to have all of that crash, I would sit and think to myself, I don't know if I have it in me to do that again. I don't know it. I didn't have the confidence, because after your husband has an affair on you, you go from this confident person to you go from here to here, and you feel like everything that you thought you were just goes away. And then you're you just feel worthless. So to try to build a team and be positive and to try to build it back up again, it's almost impossible. Yeah. And so when it clicked and I was like, you know what? I think I can do this. And I put the work back in, and then I have 2 diamonds and an almost third in less than 3 months.
This is so awesome. No, I know it does take hard work. You are absolutely right. And nothing. Yeah, exactly. And first of all, and I'm not, like, all kidding aside, like, who would have an affair on you? Like, I mean, you're gorgeous. Like, you have your shit together. That's crazy.
Okay. I'm truthfully happier now. So it was a blessing in disguise, but
I know.
I grew a lot from it. So I'm not happy that it happened, but I'm happy for the person that it's made me.
Yeah.
Made me
it was supposed to happen because look at you now. I mean, look at how much you've grown. So, okay. I want to know, what were the personal development books, or even just personal development in general, it doesn't have to be a book. What was it where you dug deep and you were like, all right, I'm feeling it. I need to come back. Like, what was it that healed your heart?
Oh God.
For you to want to, like, pour your heart into others and build your business up again.
I have done so much personal development that I truthfully don't even know, like, if I could, honest to God, all I do is personal development. Driving in the car, like my son, since he was 6 months old, he's 5.5 now, like, that's what we do. We drive in the car and we listen to, like, audiobooks and motivational stuff. And it just depends on what I feel like I need at that moment. So,
he's going to be like a future motivational speaker. He'll be like Brendan Burchard in 20. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, with team stuff, he's always like, he'll take the little microphone and be like, keep going, girl. He's always cheering them on. He's so sweet. Okay, the very first personal development book that I ever read that I feel like truly changed my life was The Magic of Thinking Big. That was the first one I ever read, and it really, I don't know, I always go back to that one. I started, totally gonna go here. Right before Christmas, I started going to church and started kind of exploring Christianity. And that truly has changed me. I have my Bible here. This is what I read now. And I feel like, I don't know if something just clicked. I just feel like a happier, better human being. So, but I've read like, you name it, I've read it.
Yeah.
I've read them all.
Gosh, that's awesome. Because that was one thing that I didn't believe in at first, was personal development. I'm like, I don't need it.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, after a lot of the top coaches said personal development, like, I was like, all right, I need some personal development in my life. If they're telling me that that's what helped them, then I need to also dig deep into that as well. All right, girls, I know I've got a couple other questions, but I know some of you may probably have questions too. Feel free to unmute yourself. Talk to Kelly. She's an open book. She'll tell you anything and answer anything. Don't be shy.
Okay, I'm not really a shy person. My name's Laura. I don't know if you can see that on the screen.
I can see you. Yeah.
What do you do to get your challengers participating with you? Because you said, that you wanted to get people better results, more results. And that was one of the things that you worked on helping your business to grow.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So you're just wanting to know, like, how I'm getting them to, like, not fall off and to participate?
Well, for example, I'm trying to spread my wings a little bit. So I include them in the Self-Made Project, which Maggie runs, but then I have a challenge group and sadly, I don't have very many challengers, okay? But just for the few that I have, for both personalities, people like me who are, hey, I'm gonna jump in, and I don't care if there are 400 people on the team, I'm joining in, or you're more modest, shy people, we have just my little tiny group. And nobody really participates. I share the information from like the June posts. I get those off the team drive and I share the information and share my pics, share my thing, and people like them, a few of them, but nobody participates.
So
And I
I
don't.
think that maybe like if you hold them more accountable, but also like I used to spend a lot of time trying to help people who weren't ready to help themselves, and it would suck a lot of the life out of me. So it's the same in the business. I work with the ones who are doing the work. So here's an example. So I started a new group on Monday of last week. So today was day 7, or is today Monday? Yeah, today was day 7. So all of them got a message from me yesterday, and I was like, hey, hope you had a great weekend. Tomorrow's Monday, so I'm looking forward to your progress photos and a picture of you standing on the scale. And then they send them to me today, and I always do like a side-by-side comparison for them and send it back to them and give them a little pep talk. So if they don't send me their side-by-sides or their scale pic, then I might give them like another little check-in, but then I just assume they're not ready. And I move on and I work with the people who are sending me it. And if you only have a few challengers, then that means that you can give them that much more attention and figure out what it is they need. Does that make sense? So try getting them to like send you every Monday their progress, standing on the scale, so that you can monitor it. And then that allows you to kind of, if they're not seeing changes, it allows you to kind of like figure out, okay, like what can we change? What do we need to do to increase you getting results?
Okay. Anyone else? I have a question, if anyone, okay. What would you give, what's your best advice to give like new coaches that are just starting, whether they're in it 3 months, 6 months, or kind of newbies? What advice would you give them right now?
Do what your coach tells you.
Good answer. It's true. It's true though. You have to be coachable.
Yeah, like if you're not doing the things, like I get people are scared like I don't really get it actually. I'm kind of lying because I was never like this. Like if somebody said just invite, I just did. Like I never really worried about it. I will be honest though, I do struggle a little bit with inviting to the coaching opportunity, a little bit more than I do like to our challenge groups, but I still do it.
Right.
So, like Maggie's an awesome leader. So if she's saying like invite every single day and this is what to say, just do it. And who cares what anybody thinks of you? Like, I mean, you guys have heard all this before. Like, people are going to judge whether you're doing good or not doing good. So just do it. Just work your tracker and invite.
And there's a reason why that tracker is so successful, because it works.
It works.
It works, and consistency helps. Okay, now that you were saying something. Oh yeah, okay. Success Club, you're in the 30s, you're in the 40s. That's freaking fire. What is your secret sauce to that? Like, what are you doing to get there every single month? With those numbers.
I am consistently posting on my Facebook and Instagram pages every day, or at least 5 days a week. I'm consistently posting on my stories so that it's ongoing. And I just bang out the invites. Like, I don't think about it. I don't like click on somebody's page and look and see like what they did on the weekend and then message them and say, how was your week? And like, no, I'm like, Kathy's looking at my story, Kathy's getting an invite. Molly's looking at my story, Molly's getting an invite. Trudy, Judy, whoever. Like, I'm just like bang, 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 bang. I invite a lot.
Good. Throw me an invite. Like, what do you send?
Hey, Maggie, I'm not sure if you heard, but I'm hosting a health bet on July 6th. Have you seen me posting about it?
See? And obviously they have if they're watching your stories.
And if they haven't, you better believe I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I think Sam had a question. She goes, my house is loud. How are you finding your people? That's a great question. Because you're doing great. It's work. Whatever you're doing is working.
What's the question? Sorry?
How are you finding your people?
To invite?
Just for your team to recruit.
My team, I don't have a lot of new coaches on my team. So the diamonds that just went diamond and are on their way to diamond are coaches. 2 of them were discount coaches that just kind of came out of nowhere in January and decided to like really start working. And then my 3rd diamond, she's just like one of those coaches that like you just love because she showed you don't even ever hear from her, but then you log into your back office and it's like, oh, she signed up like 5 coaches, like I don't know. I don't think I have a good answer to that question because I'm not so great at recruiting new coaches, but I'm working on it and I promise to get better at it. And when I find out, I'll let you know.
What do you find that you have more successful coaches that want to build a business because they had some like a good testimonial, like good results in your group? Like, do you find that they're like, ooh, about the coaching, but then once they start the programs and they get some really killer results, then do you find that they're ready to step into coaching and build this business?
Yeah, 2 of them got really transformation and started coaching. That's my 2 coaches. And then my other girl just started coaching. She was kind of like in the group and then like she was just sharing on her Instagram story all the time and I'm like, what, like why aren't you just doing it? And then she's the one that went diamond. And then I have a few others that are like emeralds that just kind of stay there. Yeah, 50-50.
It's true though, I've had a lot of clients that just started sharing it on their story and then they message me and be like, I share this on my story and people are asking me what I'm doing and I'm like, you are doing what I'm doing. You are coaching, you're inspiring. That's what we do. So sometimes they just need that push for them to be like, oh, okay, I get it. And then they start to kind of have that light bulb moment.
All of my diamond coaches needed to be pushed like you wouldn't believe. It took me like 1,000 times. And then finally they just were like, okay.
Do you feel like you're someone that needs to be like pushed? You have that internal motivation?
No, I don't. I just, no, I just have it. Awesome. And not in a conceited way. It's just how I am.
Yeah. Well, it's probably because like your PD, it's in your blood.
I think it's just that I just want a better life so bad that I just want to, I believe that this will give it to me. And you know what? It has. Like my life has changed so much. If I wasn't doing Beachbody, like going back to school wouldn't have been an option because of the debt. And, my job didn't pay that well. So I would have been working like overdraft to overdraft for the rest of my life. And I don't want that. Like I want to take my son to Disney and that's on my vision board. And it's like almost paid for in cash before we go in November. I hope we get there. And like, these are things that this business has done for me. So I want a better life. And I know that this is what's going to give me that. So that's what motivates me.
Yes. You're hungry.
Very.
Yeah. That's motivation alone. All right, Christina, what are your top tips for being a leader? Very good question.
Top tips for being a leader. Showing up and working your butt off so that your team shows up with you. Mm-hmm. I have fallen, and I know just when my team crashed before, I know that it was because I was the leader and I crashed, but I'm not making excuses. I was going through a really hard time. So it was hard for me to try to lead a team. I didn't have it in me. And so my team crumbled. So I think showing up for yourself, working out first and foremost for yourself, and making sure that you as the leader are hitting Success Club 10 minimum every single month. And you can't expect your team to be doing those things if you're not. So if you've got to stay up until midnight every night to do it, that's what you got to do. And I will, and I would do that.
Amen. Amen. I agree. I would move mountains for my team. You know,
Yeah.
it's just, that's what I would do. And I know that they would move mountains for me. So like then you know you're in like a good surrounding and a good environment. Okay, come on guys, questions. Anyone?
Okay, I have a few people that signed up during COVID, but with the 3-month plan. And so the 3 months are coming up. Either they're just now, you know, and then I have a couple people that sign up every 3 months. How do I get them to move from the 3-month plan to a challenge pack?
I don't ever sell 3-month plans. So you offered the challenge pack first?
Yes. I offered the challenge pack first, and they said, well, is there something different? Is there something that's just a little bit here? And so then at that point, I offered them the 3-month.
Okay. So my groups that I've been running since January, where I'm getting the results, I don't let anybody join that group unless they are on Shakeology.
Okay.
So, and I truly believe, because of the results that I've got on my own, that Shakeology is a huge part in seeing results, especially if you've got like 10, 20, 30, 50 and above pounds to lose. So I would go back and figure out like what their goals are. And 9 times out of 10, people's issue is nutrition. So I would spend a lot of time talking about their nutrition and figure out what it is they're eating on a daily basis. I would get them to send me like a daily, like, tell me what you eat in the run of a day. And somewhere in there, you're going to see where Shakeology fits in, and tell them why. And be confident and say, listen, like, this is what I'm going to offer you. This is what's going to work for you. Here's my group. I seldom do I offer anything but a challenge pack.
Okay.
I think that when you start offering like the 3 months or the 6 months, or even I'll sometimes do the year buy, but truthfully, when I do that, within 2 months, they're wanting Shakeology, and it frustrates me, like I told you. So I just don't ever offer that. I pretend it's not even the same. I don't know if that's wrong.
No, I do the same too. Because I'm completely honest, and I'm sure there's a couple of you before you signed up, you're like, oh, I don't want the Shakeology, and I just pretty much don't give them an option.
Yeah,
I'll say, I mean, like with COVID and everything that happened, obviously I was all about giving them as much free content for, just for them to keep the sanity. But yeah, I do not offer the bod. And if they do, they go into my free, the Self-Made Project. And if they then invest in a challenge pack, then they go into the paid group. Just because.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. I have a Facebook group where if they don't get Shakeology, they go into, and that group just runs itself. I'm in it. I'll share a selfie and answer a question here and there, but I spend my time in my paid Shakeology group with the people who are getting results, because the people in my other group who aren't on Shakeology, nobody's changing in that group. Nobody's getting results.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Yep. Okay.
And I was the person who was like, I'm not drinking a shake. I'd rather eat my food. Like, I was that girl. I totally was that girl.
Yeah, me too. I canceled it like the next day when my girlfriend was like, did you read that you're going to be charged again for auto ship? And we had no money. And I was like, oh, so I called and canceled right away. And then I was like, why did I cancel? I love this stuff. Yeah. So yeah, me too.
I was going to add one more thing to that. Shakeology. Oh, what you can say to them, Laura, is you could just say, when they say, oh, I don't want the Shakeology, then you could say, you know what, like, why don't you just try it for a month while we get your nutrition to where we want it, and then you can decide whether or not you want to continue. I say that to people too, and it's just like, I'm not asking you to stay on it forever. Give it 30 days, see how you feel, see how your results are, and then if you want to cancel, like, have at her.
Yeah, that's a really good piece of advice. And Laura, with the $20 off, that kind of will help too with the special to get them to sign up for the challenge pack.
Yeah, I'm going back through, following up with them, saying, you know, oh, your 3-month membership's coming up. Now's the time.
Yes,
So.
Good.
Ask them how the results are. Like, I guarantee you 3 months just doing workouts and them not changing their eating habits, I guarantee you that they were not seeing that great of results.
Yeah, it's true. All right, ladies. Anyone else?
I think there was a question I saw.
Oh.
Stephanie, you mentioned that you have a vision board. Do you have a process to create the board? I assume it. So when my team and I started, this is actually hilarious. So my team and I started like really working together since COVID. So one night I was like, I'm doing a vision board. Who wants to do it with me? So we all got together and had drinks one night and created I was like running, I live in the middle of nowhere, like in this big farm area. So I was like messaging my neighbors, like, who has magazines nowadays, right? We packed the magazine down and we sat at a table and had drinks and everybody made their vision board. And I made the girls because they weren't putting it on, I made them put 1 star diamond on their vision board because nobody believed in themselves that they were going to do it. And within a month and a half, 3 of them went diamond. So this is my vision board. I didn't finish it because I'm very particular. So this is as far as I got, but I don't have any processes, but I can just show you it.
Ooh, let me see. Oh, top 10 Canada.
So this is
5-star.
Side, my little and this is my faith stuff. And then this is travel, I think, over here. And then I've got some other things that I want to add to it, but I'm a huge believer in writing your goals down. I was trying, at the beginning of the call, I was trying to find a paper that it's been on my board here forever of my goals that I wrote down in January, because I was going to just read them to you guys and tell you what I wrote and what I have accomplished. It's magical when you write it down and you see like the things that actually transpire. It's like mind blowing, and it's worked so many times. So at the beginning of each month, I always take time to try to write that stuff down and be very clear. And I always, well, it's funny because like with my Success Club points, I had to like change it because I was like, I need to go higher than that. So I had to change it because I was hitting it. And I'm like, no, anyway, yeah, I wish I could find it.
Yeah.
But that's all. Vision board was just like a fun little thing we did one night.
Yeah, we should totally do that. That'd be fun. I don't know if I have any magazines. I may have to print out a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, my printer has the ink. I could have done that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be fun. Just because, I mean, we're in a new month right now, and I do feel like business is building. Okay, Nicole said, I get so confused when it comes to tracking that. So I love the idea of virtual dream board night so I can get it straight about diamond, emerald. Oh, yeah. For sure. Okay. Ladies, Kelly Hayman came into 2020 literally flying on a wrecking ball. All right?
I was an emerald coach in January.
And now look at her. She's going to be in 3-star quals real soon. All right? That means she has built 3 diamonds on her team. Yeah. I want to know who's on their wrecking ball. And I'm not talking about Miley Cyrus. All right? All right, ladies. I mean, we have 6 months left in the year.
So much time.
We've had a lot of challenges this year. We faced a lot of adversity going on in our lives, but the ones that come out on top are the successful ones, right? So think about it. Kelly Hayman, I adore you so much. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming on this call and sharing your heart with us, your story. And I know you had to do a lot of healing, but I feel, and I know that you know this, but like that was meant to happen. It was meant to happen. Like I think about that with my anxiety, like that was meant to happen. I was supposed to go through those dark times to be where I am today. And everybody has their moment in their life, whether you're working through it now, whether you are weathering the storm, but you will get through it. And then you're going to look back and be like, aha, I know, I get it now.
And it feels so good when it clicks and you get it.
Oh yeah. And you had you had a huge click beginning of the year. Awesome. All right, ladies.
Thanks for having me, you guys. It was nice to meet you.
I want to hug you. Bye, Kel. And girls, I recorded this. So I will upload it to our team page so you could all check it out again. And then I know that there was a lot of people that couldn't hop on tonight just for several reasons. But thanks for coming on. And Kelly, thanks again. And I cannot wait to recognize you when you are like 5-star elite. Okay?
Thanks.
Bye, honey.
Bye. See ya.
Bye, team.